Canto 14. The love I cherished for my native land so wrung my heart. I gathered the strewn fronds and gave them back to him, whose voice had grown already faint. Then the edge we came, passing the second to the third round, where a fearful work of justice could be seen, to show most clearly these unheard-of things. I say we had arrived at a flat moor, whose bed was bare, refusing every plant. The woeful forest garlands it about, as it was encircled by the dismal moat. We halted in our steps right at the rim. Its floor was all one packed and parched expanse of sand, a desert like the Libyan plains, pressed by the feet of Cato long ago. Vengeance of God, how much should you be feared by everyone who reads my tale and learns of what was made so clear before my eyes? For there I saw great flocks of naked souls, mightily weeping in their misery, subject, apparently, to different laws. Some lay flat on their backs upon the ground, and some were sitting huddled at the knees, and others roved about continually. The greatest number were of those who ran, the least who took their tortures lying down. But their tongues were the freest in their cries, over the desert in a gentle fall. There rained broad flakes of fire, as in the Alps the snow comes falling on a windless day, as in those torrid parts of India. Over his army Alexander saw flames fall from the heaven and strike the earth still strong. And so, looking ahead, he had his troops trample them out before they fed each other, easier to extinguish one by one. So the eternal fire descended here, sparking the sand like fuel beneath the flint, doubling the sorrows of the damned. Without a moment's pause, their miserable hands jittered their polka here, there, everywhere, brushing the burns of flesh flakes from their skin. Teacher, I started, you who overcome all things, except the stubborn demons who came out against us at their kingdom's gate. Who's that huge one who doesn't seem to mind the fire, but lies and twists his face from spite? So that the rains don't seem to ripen him. And he himself, who picked up what I said, hearing me ask my guide about him, cried, "What I was living, so am I still, dead." Jove can go break his blacksmith's back with work, from whom in wrath he took the thunderbolt that ran me through on my last day on earth, or wear the others out in endless shifts under Mount Etna, at the pitch-black forge, hollering, "Vulcan, help, I need your help." As he did on the flagrant battlefield, and hurl his lance through me with all his force, he'd get from me no joy in his revenge. At that my guide spoke out so loud and strong that I had not heard him speak so loud before. "Your price was not cooled off, O Capanius, and in that you are punished all the more. No other torture than your own mad rage would bring your fury its most fitting pain. He turned to me then, with his lips composed, and said, "One of the 7 kings was he who besieged Thebes. The man held God in scorn, still thinks him worthless, as his words attest. But as I told him, his despisings are the fittest decorations for his chest. Now follow me, and watch that you don't set your feet upon the scorching sand, but keep a straight path as the margin of the wood." We walked in silence till we came upon a narrow river gushing from the forest. It makes me shiver yet, so red it was, as hot springs bubble up at Bullacame, where whores divide the waters for their use. So did the stream cut through the desert sand. Both its embankments and its bed were stone, as were the channel's margins on each side. So I surmise we'd cross the desert here, of all the things I've shown you up to now, from when we entered through the gate of hell, crossing whose threshold no one is refused. Nothing you've seen is as remarkable as is this river here before your eyes, which cools and quenches all the flames above it. This from my guide, at which I begged him to let me partake more largely of that food for which he had aroused the appetite. Far in the sea of country lies and waste, the poet then began, whose name is Crete. Under its ancient king the world was chaste. There stood a mountain lush with leaf and spring, Mount Ida, as they called it in those days. Now it is barren like an aged thing. The goddess Rhea chose it for a crib, to trust her son to, and to hide him better. Her followers made a racket when he wailed. Deep in that hill a huge old man stands tall, his back turned to the delta of the Nile. He stares at Rome as at his looking glass. His head is fashioned all of finest gold. His arms and chest are silver unalloyed. Then he is bronzed down to the torso's fork, below which all is iron, choice and pure, except his right foot, which is mere baked clay. He turns more weight on that than the other. Each part, except the gold, is rotted through by a long fissure made by trickling tears, which form a stream and tunnel through that cave. They fall into this valley, rock to rock, make Acheron and Styx and Phlegethon. Then they go lower by this narrow duct, till there are no more mountains to descend, where they make Cocytus. What that dead pool is, you will soon see. Here, let the matter end, and I to him. Then if this present stream comes guttering down from our world up above, why do we see it only at this hem? And he to me, you know this place is round, and even though you've traveled a long way and tended to the left while going down, you have not yet gone all around the ring. So let it not bring wonder to your face, should there appear before us some new things. Teacher, where are the Leth and the Phlegethon? You say the one springs from this rain of tears, and you said nothing of the other one. All of your questions bring delight to me, but the boiling red stream, he said, should solve your first one with no trouble. You shall see the river Lethe, but not in this gulch. You'll see it where the spirits go to bathe, when their repented sins are wiped away. But now it's time for us to leave these woods. Follow behind me on the walk of stone. There is no burning sand upon the rim, and the flames are extinguished overhead. End of Canto 14.